Hi, I'm Chris. I'm the founder of Foxley Consulting. Our mission is to share commercial excellence skills with everybody, not just a chosen few. In this video, I want to talk about an article I read recently that beautifully illustrates how the power of association can be used in practical day to influence the results and the outcomes of an interaction. The article was published in the New York Times in the last few days, and it was referencing the power of association within a medical professional. And what they were able to do was to publish some research that showed that patients who had a personal connection with the doctor that was treating them had better results despite the fact that they were given the same treatment for a skin inflammation and infection. And in fact, what they used was the placebo effect. The difference between the two groups of patients was that one group had a personal connection with the doctor from the interaction, the way the doctor behaved with them, versus a cold and calculated interaction from a doctor who didn't want to make a personal connection. Everything else was the same. The results were significantly different. And what this went on to illustrate was the power that association has to make that personal connection and for it to influence the outcomes and the results of that interaction. Now, association from a Foxley Consulting point of view is made up of two key parts. The first part is to build an association, to create an association, a team, a group, a buying group, whatever it might be, a conglomerate, which builds strength through increasing its size and its power. But the second area is an interpersonal one, where you create a personal connection with somebody that ties you together. This is the idea that people want to do business with people that they like. It can be incredibly powerful. The challenge with this is that it often overtakes as a strategy for salespeople everything else. I have seen salespeople and organizations invest significant amounts of time, money and resources trying to be liked by their customers. They take them for dinners, they take them for conferences, they go to events. And the problem is that they're so desperate to be liked that it actually overtakes decision making, reason and any sensibility. And it becomes all-encompassing and overpowering to the point that they lose perspective. And in fact, the way I would characterize it is that it's the reverse, that suddenly the need to be liked by the customer is more important than the result in itself. So the strategy is flipped on its head and becomes being used against you. But what the article demonstrated in the New York Times was how simple and straightforward this connection can be. There's no need to spend money on dinners and events and associations. What those doctors did that was so powerful for the patient was to make good eye contact, to be interested in that person, so have some curiosity away from the simple facts and figures and information-led conversation, and to be more interested in them, their feelings and their ideas. No more than that. It's simple common sense for a commercial person to be curious about the person that they're meeting, to ask some probing questions about ideas and feelings that helps them to find that personal connection. It's simple, it's easy, it takes no extra resources and no extra time, but will massively help and change the results on commercial interactions. And in fact, the Foxley Consulting planning process sets a time for planning and thinking about how you're going to make a connection with people. Stage 2 of our planning process is to assess the circumstances that you're going to be involved in. That includes what options are available, what's happening in the marketplace, but also who are the people that you're going to be meeting and talking to. What are their goals? What are their motivators? What are their interests? And what's their history? And through this information, it can become really easy to find shared experiences, shared ideals, shared knowledge that will help you to make a personal connection, that will help you in that interaction. Final thing I'm going to say before I conclude on this topic is that this becomes much easier when you're meeting face to face. There is now a plethora of ways that you can interact and communicate with people, but anything that doesn't involve a face-to-face interaction risks losing out on the power of association as a strategy to build a connection, build loyalty, and encourage them to want to do business with you. You just don't get the same level of personal connection unless you meet face to face. So include it somewhere in the mix of how you're going to do business with somebody. It doesn't have to be everything that you do, but unless you do it, you are missing out on a powerful tool to make a personal connection with someone.